Hello there, guys. Welcome back to Younes Talks Football. I hope all of you are well. Chelsea versus Manchester United preview time. It's D-Day. Ladies and gentlemen, it's D-Day. It's as simple as that. This preview is going to be very, very straightforward. I don't think we have to overcomplicate it. I think we know exactly what needs to happen. All the other teams know what they need to do and what needs to happen. And now it's come down to the wire. Basically, we've had results that have kind of gone for us, luckily, right? Especially the Nottingham Forest-Leicester game. If you remember, that was the one that actually was a bit of a surprise, with Leicester coming back from behind to draw 2-2. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you know, that has actually helped us retain fifth position heading into this game now, tomorrow. Chelsea versus Manchester United. And I'm going to show you the Premier League table, so then you all have a glimpse of exactly what the situation is and where we all stand. So, here we are. Liverpool obviously champions. Arsenal on 68 points. Newcastle on 66 points. Man City on 65 points. So Arsenal are still in danger of not finishing even in the top 3, let alone top 2. Man City, 65, Chelsea, 63, Aston Villa, 63, Nottingham Forest, 62. It's hella tight. Aston Villa have to play against Tottenham. Now, they play tomorrow as well. They kick off 45 minutes before us, and that's at Villa Park. I'm expecting a Villa win here. Just for the sake of Villa playing Tottenham at home and me expecting a win there means that, listen, that's the pressure already put on us, let alone Forest. Let alone Forest, right? When we're looking at the games and what is left, Nottingham Forest have to go to West Ham, and that game is on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. And then Newcastle have to play Arsenal on Sunday as well. And there we are. Man City play Bournemouth on Tuesday. So it's all spread out before the final game on the 25th, where we wrap up the season once and for all. So it's going to be interesting one. West Ham, Nottingham Forest, for example, I'm looking at that and thinking, yeah, maybe Nottingham Forest might drop points there. I wouldn't be shocked if they don't win. So I'm not really looking at Forest. I'm looking more at Villa. Truth of the matter is now, we have to win. Because this is the scenario now. If we drop points one more time and Aston Villa win their game, it's out of our hands. At that point, we need to hope they drop points. And Aston Villa, in the last game, play at Old Trafford against Manchester United, who would have absolutely nothing to play for whatsoever. The Europa League final would have been done as well. And we have to go to Forest, who are going to be competing for the same thing, depending on their result against West Ham. That's something to pay attention to. It's all very sticky. We have to win. You see this whole thing of, no, we cannot lose. That's done now. Yeah? And I've never been for that unless on one condition. I will happily use that we cannot lose is if we're going for the title. We're going for the title. For example, let me tell you, you beat all the big teams at home, and then you have to go and play those big teams away. So you're going to the Emirates, you're going to the Etihad, you're going to, well, Old Trafford used to be serious. You're going to Anfield, you're going to these games, and you're like, yeah, you know what, if we draw there, cool. Because at our place, we're beating all of them. Draw over there, happy days. We're going to win the title that way. That's the only time I'm happy to say, yeah, just don't lose. But when we're trying to get Champions League football, we're in this situation, it's all sticky. I'm not of the opinion of, yeah, let's not lose. That's just not me. This is why every flipping time I come on here and I go, yeah, it's a must win. It's a must win. It's a must win. I've said that this season about, I don't know, 15 times. This is the situation we're in. Well, guess what? Tomorrow's not a must win. It's a win or die. It's not even must win. Must win implies that even if you don't win, it's not the end of the world. No, tomorrow it's the end of the world. If we don't win, it's the end of the world. That's how I'm looking at it. And I'm bringing this much urgency because I'm still sticking with the point. We have to play Champions League. We have to get Champions League football. People do not understand, let alone just the implications as a football club on a footballing level and how bad that would be for us. But people are not, I don't think, understanding just how much financial implication there is if we don't make Champions League. I don't swear on it, but we're, if we don't make Champions League, we're toast. I'm certain of that. We have to get Champions League football. So tomorrow, it's do or die. Pick one. Tomorrow impacts the future of the football club, as far as I'm concerned. Well, not just tomorrow, the next two games. This one and Forest. They have to be wins. Have to be. There's no other such thing here. Even if we're winning and then the 94th minute we concede, oh my God, we drew, we didn't deserve that. No, we deserve it. I don't get. There is no alternative here. We've put ourselves in a situation, yeah? We could have wrapped this up earlier. We didn't. It's the same situation now. It's the same story, season in, season out, it seems. We are in this situation. We have to deal with the consequences. We have to win. I'd like to think that playing Man United tomorrow at Old Trafford, at Stamford Bridge, right? Argaff, surely we win. Surely. Oh my God. If we do not win against this Man United team, who have not won a league game since mid-March, this Man United team that keep dropping points for fun, this Man United team that have, and I want to get this right, have lost 17 matches in the league this season, that are sitting 16th, only ahead of Tottenham, because Tottenham are Tottenham, right? And Tottenham have lost 20. Flipping hell. That is wild. Damn. What's wrong with you lot? Actually, oh my God. Man United have only won 10. Tottenham have won 11. You've won less games than the Spurs. You see what I mean? Do you see what I'm getting at here? We cannot lose to this team. Surely not. Or, no, not even drop points. We cannot drop points to this football club. On top of that, there's an added thing here. There's an added caveat. Their eyes are on the Europa League final on Wednesday. They got to fly to Bilbao again, and they got to play the Europa League final. They're not going to be fully focused tomorrow. If we can't beat a dysfunctional, disabled at this point, right? Literally, they look like they are handicapped. They cannot function. There are things that they used to be able to do that they cannot do any longer, right? Man United team that are focusing on something else instead of tomorrow, then we don't deserve Champions League. Keep it. Keep it. If we don't win tomorrow, you're not going to get angry Younes coming on here. You're going to get a very calm Younes coming on here tomorrow. Just telling you exactly how it is. Chelsea, do not let that happen. Simple. Do not let that happen. Do we deserve to play Champions League? Well, prove it. Prove it. Pressure's on. Good. Because you need pressure. This sort of environment, good. In the long run, it can be a good thing. But there's no excuse tomorrow. There is no excuse. You know, like Newcastle, at least there's an well, it's not an excuse, but it's a valid point. You know, Newcastle are a good team. They're going up the ladder slowly, but they're good. This is why this was a result that a lot of us had basically written off for a long time. St. James's Park, that's not going to happen, is it? Because there's a level of respect there for what Newcastle are doing. I don't have that for Man United. They are pants. Like, with all due respect, I know they might say the same for us, but I'm sorry, just look. I don't even need to look. I don't need to speak. I don't need to speak. There's a problem, you know. We've dropped points to Ipswich. We've done that before, you know. We've struggled against teams sometimes in and around that position. We could not let that happen tomorrow. Simple as that. But there is this thing that sometimes against us, Man United actually decide to switch it on. Somehow they actually just go, okay, no, we're actually going to play like Man United today. Boom. And then it's like you've turned the switch on. And then we struggle. Last year, finished. There was a draw at Old Trafford, as usual, because we just kept drawing to them every flipping game, every season. Now we just 1-1 or 0-0, 1-1, 0-0, 1-1. It's the same. Last season at home under Poch, we were losing 3-2 at home, you remember, in the 99th minute. And by the 100th minute, we were up 4-3. That was wild, yeah? But respectfully, tomorrow should be, I don't want to say easier, that's not the right word, but the gap in quality should be larger than it was last season. It should be. So we should win. We should win. We should win. I'm not expecting anything less. So let's go and get it. Because if we don't, Champions League is finished. Unless a miracle happens. And at that point, we don't deserve it. We actually do not deserve to go and play Champions League. It would be embarrassing. So beat Man United tomorrow. Team news. We've got the same team pretty much, except Nicholas Jackson, who's suspended and out for the rest of the season. Obviously. So apart from him, everyone else, Mark Gu might not feature. Moresco alluded to the fact that he could maybe be on the bench, but he's not going to be taking part, it seems like. Moresco also in the press conference said a couple of things that I do want to highlight, because he was called out, I saw on Twitter earlier on, talking about how he mentioned Chelsea are not, that of 10, 15 years ago. We're not that. That was competing for titles. That's what the journalist at least mentioned. And then he said, yeah, but for the last two, we haven't. We finished 12th and we finished 6th. And that's how it is. And Moresco got grilled for that. If you watch the press conference and you look at the way that he said it, yeah, you can see that he said it with a conviction, with a level of realism, as in, this is how we've been performing. This is our level. This is where we are. He wasn't saying it in a state of acceptance. He was saying it more in a state of, are you not paying attention to what's happened the last 2 years? Like, we've been poor. We've been crap. So, yeah, we can't compare to that team that used to win titles every flipping season. I'm mentioning this because the acceptance hasn't come from Moresco. Some might say, yeah, maybe in his role is going along with it and he's just happy to go along with it. Yeah, perhaps. But the standard is coming from the ownership. And he clarified that today in his press conference when he said, and he doubled down, the club told me that Champions League is an aim in 2 years, not this season. Now, Moresco might be cool with that. And Moresco did clarify that we've been in the top 4 for a lot of the season. So more recently, after March, his words, it's become a target because we're there and we believe we can do it, right? But the club haven't set that as a minimum. And I believe him when he says that. He's clarified it before. He said it again. The club have told me Champions League is for next season, not for this season. That's insane. I find that wild. I don't understand how the ownership can actually, after what we've been through with Potter, then Lampard a little bit, then Poch, and then you get another manager, and you still cannot, after 1 point whatever billion spent, still cannot set Champions League as a bare minimum. That is shameful. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. It feels like it's just kicking the can down the road. Yeah, just keep kicking the can down the road. Next thing you know, 10 years have passed. That's how it happens. Other clubs fell into that trap too. We have to try and prevent that from happening. But it seems like the standard being set from the ownership is just not urgent enough. I don't blame Moresco for that. Moresco's just doing his job and he's executing what he's told to do and he's there. He's hired. He's in a role. He's not the one that set the level though. That's come from above. So that's an important point to clarify in the press conference. We'll see what happens in tomorrow's game, Nottingham Forest, and how it all ends, and then we'll go from there. But the selection, the starting 11. Let me show you what I would go with. So here it is. Right. For me, it's pretty straightforward. I've gone with a similar selection to what I would have picked for the Newcastle game. Like I said before the Newcastle game, having Reece James at right back for me was imperative. bringing Caicedo into midfield alongside Lavia with Enzo just ahead of him in a 10, whilst Palmer drifts over to the right, is something we might actually have to do tomorrow by force. Why? Because we ain't got a striker. So who's playing up top? It's going to have to be one of two names. Pedro Neto or Tyreek George. I would go with Pedro Neto for now. I don't really want to put that much pressure on Tyreek George. But I would see and monitor how Pedro Neto is doing, and if a change has to be made with 35 minutes to go, I would bring on Tyreek George, because we've seen him come off the bench and make a difference. Let him come off the bench and make a difference again. Perhaps that might actually work if we do need to call upon him. But I wouldn't start with him and put that we have to rely on you. It's all up to you. I wouldn't want to do that to Tyreek George. Not yet. Pedro Neto should be someone that can handle that. Should be. So I would go Neto up top, which means on the flanks, Sancho can't play because he's from Man United. He can't play against his parent club. These two would be the ones that we would have to turn to, I think. Madueke on that left-hand side can work pretty well. He's looked good there. And then I would bring Palmer over to the right, even if it means putting Enzo a little bit more forward. Lavia compensates that role alongside Caicedo. Reece James plays in his natural position, like he did when he came on against Newcastle, and he had Gordon wrapped up, as far as I'm concerned. So much so Gordon had to come off. The rest, I think, tells itself. Chalobah, Colwell, Cucurella, and in goal, of course, it's going to be Robert Sanchez. That's what I would go with. I think that makes sense. And that should be enough quality to beat Man United at home. It should be. Especially with them one eye on the Europa League final. It should be. Apparently, Lenny Yoro didn't train, and there was another one that didn't train, apparently. I forgot who it was. But they've got a couple of players that didn't train, apparently. There's no excuses. There really is no excuse. I'm expecting a win tomorrow, but let me know your starting 11 down in the comment section below. As I tell you my prediction, and I'm going to be frank and honest with you here. Look, I'm going to be real. Realistically, it should. If we're serious, 3-1 win. If we're serious. Yeah? I got a feeling it's going to be a little bit tighter than that. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, I'd be embarrassed. But I wouldn't be surprised if it finished 1-1. Because that's always what happens in this fixture. But that is unforgivable for us. We can't have it. So, my realistic prediction I'm going to go with is Chelsea 2, Man United 1. And we'll see what happens. It's not even me just saying that, hoping that Chelsea win. Like, come on, we should win. We should, man. Like I said, it would be... I would be embarrassed to show my face tomorrow if we don't. Let me know your thoughts. Down below, your predictions, your lineups, much appreciated. And like I said, tomorrow, watch along in question. Keep the notification bell on. Make sure you keep an eye. If it's scheduled, it's there. It means it's happening. If it's not scheduled, it's not happening. And I'll see you on the review. But I'll do my best. Considering the internet, when I get there, I'll see what happens. So let me know your thoughts. Much appreciated. And I'll catch all of you tomorrow. In a bit, people. Look after yourselves. Take care. And peace.